right, we back again. We back again. Alex, how you doing?
All right, doing great, man. Doing great. How you?
I'm chilling, man. I can't complain at all. This week, we got something very special. As children of the 70s, we grew up in the 80s. We had a chance to watch the hip hop revolution grow before our eyes. And some great music, some great movies came about in the early 80s. And the one we're talking about today is the classic Krush Groove, something that's important in my childhood and a lot of my friends, and from what you told me, yours as well. A lot of
Absolutely.
great artists in this movie, and it was great that you even brought this movie up to talk about, man, because it's one of those ones that, like we said before, is going to get lost in the shuffle.
Yes,
Through the hands of time, is going to get lost, and we really have to take time to look at these movies and appreciate them for what they are and for what they were back then to us.
absolutely, absolutely. It's the one that started them all. As far as having like an all-star cast within like the music genre that was going on like during that time period. I mean, you had everybody that was anybody during this time period in this film
Yeah,
all at one time.
yeah, and it's for those that don't know, this movie is somewhat based on the origins of Def Jam, the Def Jam recording label. So yeah, to start out with, I do want to give props to Michael Schultz, the director of this movie, who is a living legend, and we're very fortunate to still have this man around directing today.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
one of the few black directors back in the day, and still to this day, and this guy directed some classics that we probably going to end up talking about. One in particular, I know we're going to talk about.
Absolutely, yeah.
You want you you want to go over his catalog real quick?
Well, I mean, for a few of them, you figure one of my favorites was The Last Dragon, of course.
Yeah,
And you got Car Wash. He did Car Wash. He did this film. I mean, yeah, he's just iconic when it comes to like directing films like this
yeah,
with the
yeah.
music and the act.
He did Coolie High, man. He did Coolie High.
Coolie High, definitely Coolie High.
Yeah. So this guy's been around for a while, man. He's 84 years old, still directing.
84.
Yeah, so give Michael Schultz some props, man. He's been doing it for a long time, man. He made a classic with this one.
When this film came out, like you look at everybody, and most of them are like you said, musicians, performers, Run DMC, Fat Boys. I mean, this was pretty much the first time that they had been on screen,
Yeah,
with no type of acting school or ability at all. And I mean, everybody in this film knocked it out of the park. And I
yeah,
guess pretty much because
absolutely.
they were playing themselves, so
Yeah,
that'll
yeah. They
make
didn't
it
have to
easy.
make up anything. They just had to kind of be able to act a little bit on
Right,
screen, but they were really just being themselves.
right.
And that's one of the things that's really um, endearing about this movie is that you're really just you're getting these people as they are.
Yeah,
They aren't acting like someone else.
it's genuine. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and we get blessed with the very beginning of this movie is with the King of Rock.
Oh yeah.
The opening credits start out with the King of Rock by Run DMC.
On DMC in the studio,
Yeah, yeah,
and
um,
you get introduced with you got Run DMC in the studio booth. You've got Rick Rubin is in there. You got Curtis Blow, and you got Blair Underwood that's acting as Russell Simmons. But
right in his first movie.
right, right. But I think they changed his name to Russell Walker.
Yeah,
But essentially it was Russell Simmons,
Russell Simmons. Yeah,
and that was a great scene right there. Great scene.
yeah, yeah. That whole opening scene, man. I always love that song.
Oh yeah,
Always love that song. In that movie, that opening credit scene, you get introduced to all most of the main characters. You get introduced to Run DMC. You see like Curtis Blow, um, the Fat Boys,
mm.
Disco 3 as they started out.
Yeah. Disco 3.
Yeah. And which is factual. They really did start out as Disco 3. And you meet what's Kuwapski.
Yeah, Kuroksky, yeah.
Kowalski.
He's a dark skinned one of the fat boys.
Yeah, and you meet him baking a cake before school. He's putting a whole cake in his
Yeah,
lunchbox.
he just mashed it up.
Yeah, take to school for lunch.
I thought that was
And
hilarious.
we meet Buff. Buff is ironing his shoelaces, his fat shoelaces. And that's one of those things that watching it now, fat shoelaces is something I forgot about.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those things, early '80s things that if you weren't around, you didn't know anything about it. But now when I see it, I'm like, oh man, fat shoelaces, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, you had to have him if you had a pair of Adidas. Had to have
Yeah,
him.
yeah. And your boy, Prince Marky D, being an entire creep.
Yeah. Yeah. Checking out old girl as she walking on getting ready to go on the subway, her and a man.
Yeah, with the buff dude, and I forgot what he's listed as in the credits, but it's something funny. But anyway, that
Yeah,
dude is we supposed to believe that dude's in high school.
yeah, and that's what I was about to say. I think that they were stretching it right there, man. He would look like he was well in his 20s. And I'm like, okay, yeah,
Yeah. That dude was competing for Mr. Olympia, man. He's supposed to be in high school.
yeah,
So yeah, we get that opening scene, man.
Yeah.
We get introduced to the guys, and it's just one of those classic things that This is one of those movies that if you're not watching it and you got it on in the background, you're listening to it and you're nodding your head while this movie's playing. Because
Right.
there's so many great songs. The soundtrack is crazy, but then the soundtrack doesn't even include some of the songs that are in the movie.
right.
So we
That's
have a
very
whole
true.
separate we have a whole separate conversation about the soundtrack itself.
The soundtrack, yeah, definitely. Def- I kind of like how it really shows how kind of like ragtag they were in the beginning, because you see kind of how the studio set up and everything. You got wires all over the place. The booth is not really a booth; it's just like a piece of glass looking into the
Yeah.
second room.
Yeah.
The lighting was lousy and everything, but they was in there pushing it, man, and it came across really nice, really nice.
Yeah, yeah. It came across as just a bunch of dudes who were trying to start a record label, get recognized, get on the radio, just from the ground up.
Right, right.
Yeah, so like from this point, we get a chance to actually meet Rick Rubin, who's a legend in the hip hop game.
Yeah.
Rick Rubin's been around for years, and one of the few, back then, he was maybe the only white guy that was really just doing what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah. So give Rick Rubin a whole lot of respect, man. This guy, without him, we wouldn't have a lot of what we listen to today.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So yeah, man. After that opening scene, you get, like you said, you get the rundown of the record label. It was Rush Records or something like that, right?
I think
It wasn't called Def Jam in the movie.
no. I think they called it. I think it was like Krush Groove. I think it was maybe
Krush, yeah.
Krush Groove. And they were pretty much just pressing. They were getting their records pressed while they were making the music, and they were getting them pressed as they go. So it was kind of like a tedious thing where they were trying to fill orders, and they couldn't fill all the orders because when the record came out, and if it was big, they couldn't keep up with the demand to the DJs.
Yeah.
Back then, it was before the internet, man. So I mean, you figure you weren't anyway. If you didn't have any vinyl, you was like, who are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you couldn't get on the radio, man. You out back. After this intro, we get the Fat Boys going in school,
Right.
and one of these scenes. First of all, the teacher, whoever the teacher was, she's a terrible actress.
Yeah. She was playing. I don't know if they were science class or biology class. I think it was.
Yeah, they were doing fetal pig dissection, and our boy Ski, he's over there roasting the pig on a little Bunsen burner. Like, come on, man, Joe soaked in formaldehyde. Like,
Right.
you're not gonna eat that.
Right. I was like, no, that ain't that. And then Prince, of course, he's still trying to holler at the one girl that he had a crush on, that with the big buff dude. And I thought she kept dissing him, man. Whatever, man. I ain't looking at you. So I thought that was funny. And, but yeah, the teacher was definitely bland. And at that point, he kind of looks over at Buff. He's like, man, this is whack, man. And I can't deal with this, this ain't working. So then of course Buff starts to clown, and again it kind of establishes the fact that they were kind of like the comedic part of the film,
Yeah.
always joking, always in the stuff, and he starts to make different noises with his mouth because he's a human beatbox. So
Yeah.
disturbs the class, and then of course the teacher steps up and say, "Oh, it's you." Okay, and then of course she tries to make him stand up, and all three of them get
All
up.
three of them.
Wise guys, get out, go see.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they concoct a plan. Marky D says, "No, I got an idea. I got an idea." They run to the stairwell, get the radio out, and perform one of their old songs. Which one was it? Don't you dog me? Yeah.
And it was cool because that song applied to what was going on, because again Prince Marky D was trying to catch this girl's attention, and let him know that he was the fresh kid, fresher than the guy that she had. And again she kind of raised an eyebrow, but she still ended up brushing him off.
Yeah.
But the song applied to what was going on. He was trying to say pretty much, "Don't dog me. I'm here. I'm trying to be with you." So
yeah.
which failed,
Yeah. Yeah. And in the movie, this is before they really embrace like them being the Fat Boys.
Right.
They're still trying to be the Disco 3, not really embracing who they are. Yeah. After the Fat Boys, we go back to Russ. Russ needs money. And he goes to see his dad. Well, actually, let's back up. Run DMC they go see Run's dad,
right?
The preacher. And I can't remember. I didn't write down the actor's name who played the preacher, who played their father. But yeah, they're in the church, and he says, first of all, take your hats off in here. They forget where they are. They take the hats off, be a little more respectful. Talking about. Run's like, "Hey man, did you hear our new song? It sounds like a bunch of old yelling and noise." He ain't got no respect for that new music.
No, not at all. And the fact that they came into the church with a boom box, blasting at at the highest level, and again, I like that, the fact that the father checked him like, "Hey man, you don't bring that in."
Right.
So then they proceeded to be humble, take the hat off. Which I thought was great as far as like parenting. You knew who they were raised decent. You know what I'm saying? They were raised in decent.
Right. Again, they knew better than the buck on Preacher Dad.
Pops, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you get Russ coming in there, who's the ultimate. He's a hustler.
Yeah.
He's a hustler, man. He gets stuff done, but he's a hustler. And he comes in there, and Pops is like, What do you want? You don't step foot in this church unless you want something.
Right.
He said, "Pop, what you mean? What makes you think I want something?" He said, "Well, I do want something. I need to borrow some money. How much?" And he said, "Well, it's $5,000." He said, $5,000. He said, "Boy, ain't nothing in the world to make me give you $5,000."
Yeah,
They need that money to press those records.
Right.
Because Russ has been making promises that he's going to have these records delivered. He don't have the money to press them.
Right. And the demand is steadily growing. So he pressed to get that cash.
Yeah, because they're starting to get more spins on the radio. They're starting to get a little more popular. So now he needs to get those records out.
Right.
And Pop just basically told him like, "Nah, we're not doing that." He said, "This is God testing you."
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to figure it out on your own.
Right. And I like the fact that before he even came in, he was speaking about, Run sounded really kind of like he was genuine, kind of having like that young mind saying, "Hey, we're famous now. We got records out. You don't, we were working at the car wash. You don't see Lionel Richie working at a car wash. We're really trying to do this." And I'm listening to, he's saying that, he mentioned Russell's name. And his Pop immediately was like, "Oh, you listen to that dummy? He dropped out of college in the last year. Man, you stupid for even listening to him." So it kind of established the fact that, again, like you said, Russell always being a hustler and not taking the straight route to where and doing what he needs to do in order to get ahead. He's doing it his way, around the corner and around the bend type stuff, and that's that's another reason why they are where they are.
Yeah. Yeah, and I forgot to mention, I'm glad you said something about the car wash. I forgot to mention that during the credits, they quit their job at the car wash.
Yeah.
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 It felt like,
that was hilarious.
Yeah. Who's going to wash the cars? You are.
Yeah, dude came up and broke the records and everything. I was like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Just disrespectful.
You're fired. Oh, damn.
But yeah, man, so now, Russ needs money. What's he going to do? Next scene is we meet Sheila E. And let me tell you something about this movie. You meet these artists, man, like just back to back to back.
Yeah.
And you get this you get great music. We started out with Run DMC, then we get a Fat Boy song, then we get Love Bazaar by Sheila E. Now, this is where like facts and reality get a little mixed up in this movie and the history of Def Jam. Sheila E. was a Prince artist.
Yeah.
But you need a female love interest in the movie. You want somebody who's a musician, who got some good music out, got some fire out at the time.
Yeah.
So she was like a perfect fit for this. Because I swear, man, rest in peace to Prince, man. But that son bitch, he he started out with like Apollonia, and then he had, Vanity.
Man,
he had Sheila E. I don't know the relationship between him and Sheila E., but I can only assume. Sheila E. herself was just super talented.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely talented, man. And Love Bazaar is a classic record. Yeah, we meet her, man. She's singing, and Kurtis Blow, she's in the club. Let me back up. She's in the club doing Love Bazaar, and then we run into Kurtis Blow. Kurtis Blow's in there with two chicks
at the bar.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, back to back to back. Just famous people, and you can only imagine back in the day, in the 80s for us, you didn't see these people all the time. You only saw them on music videos, and if they happen to do an interview on some channel or whatever. So to get the chance to actually see them, that was special. That was like when Michael Jackson came on TV. Like, the Michael Jackson video came on, everybody stopped to go watch the video. Because you wanted to see him. You couldn't just pull up YouTube and watch this artist. You couldn't go on there, Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and see these people. So when you got a chance to see him, and it was special. That's why like everyone who saw these movies back in the day has a vivid memory of these artists, because that was the only time you got to see them.
Yeah, it was a rare occasion that you saw these people, and actually saw them, talking and doing things. So yeah, in the film it was major.
Yeah, that was major, man. And you get to see Kurtis Blow's inexplicable Jerry curl, his legendary Jerry curl. That he kept perfect the whole movie.
I wanted to bring out, man, the styles in this film really brought me back, man. Like with everything from the sneakers to the Adidas sweatsuits, the members only jackets, the whole vibe of like the 80s, man, was just really, really, it just shows, I mean, for me, kind of put like a stamp on my age. I thought it was just wonderful, man, to even have to revisit that. It was just awesome to see all this stuff, have all this stuff come back to me, the styles and everything. Her hair, iconic. That look that she had in Krush Groove was the look that I'll always remember, man. I'll always remember that look, man. Yeah. She was absolutely gorgeous. I was crushing hard. Seriously.
Everybody was, man. Yeah, and she had one of those hairstyles that everybody wanted, all the girls wanted to imitate. And, she had that, just a whole style about her was just fly, top to bottom. We're in the club and Russ bumps into JB.
Yeah.
And let me pull up the actor. I think his last name is Gant.
Yeah, Richard Gant.
Richard Gant, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Gant.
is one of those faces, one of those black faces that has been in so many movies, and you probably don't even know his name. You know, he's got an extensive.
He's been in a ton.
I would say he's got an extensive filmography. He's done voice acting. This dude's been in everything.
Yeah. I remember him from Jason Goes to Hell, because getting hard.
Yeah.
And he was the main coroner going through, doing an autopsy on Jason in the beginning. And I don't know, man. You can't forget his face.
Right. You don't know his name, but you can't forget his face.
Can't forget his face. Absolutely. Yeah.
And he plays the loan shark, JB, in this movie. We come to find out JB ain't the guy to play with.
Right.
Yeah. JB's furs, and he's a loan shark. He offers Russ his card. He said, "Here's my card. If you ever need me, give me a call."
Right.
And Russ's boys tell him, "Hey man, don't deal with JB. He's bad news."
Yeah, that was Sal that owned the Disco Fever Club.
Yeah.
He told him, "Hey man, that guy's bad news. Don't even think about dealing with him."
Yep. You can tell the next scene. You see this is where Run DMC, they're watching Sheila on stage, man, and you can tell Run's kind of feeling Sheila.
Absolutely.
And he should be. I mean, shoot, that's Sheila.
Yeah. And I like that part of it too, because that scene where he approaches her while she's coming off stage and she's complaining about playing these venues that are kind of like holes in the walls, or like she doesn't want to be there. She wants to be in like an upper crust establishment, I'm sure. And he's trying to talk to her, and she's with her manager. And again, you get a sense that that she's high tier when it comes to like just female in general. And when they sit down at the table, this is part that I love, the fact that Karen's doing the talking and stuff, and she says, "Oh, my name is Karen," and she holds her hand out like Run was gonna kiss it, and he like,
right.
he like, "What you doing?" Like, "Hey, what the hell?" And I laughed my ass off, because again, it's like, you got the way that they are, street sound and doing the things that they do in the area, and you see like the differences, like he's shooting high if he's even trying to holler at her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good scene there. So
and it shows you from the beginning that like Run's a young dude, street dude. He's not mature, and he's trying to go after somebody that is, and he may not be ready for that yet. That ain't what she's looking for.
Nah. Definitely. Got this. I was like, yeah. But she entertained them. I guess, her and her manager entertained, because again, they are up and coming stars, and she's thinking, she's looking out for Sheila E.'s best interest,
Exactly. Yeah.
And I thought that was cool too.
Yeah. And they do the little rap for her.
Yeah. I thought
they do a little rap for her at the table. And she chuckled. So that was his foot in the door right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he thought he had a foot in the door.
Yeah.
And we get our fat boys trying to get in the club. These some teenagers now. We talking about some teenagers. They're trying to get in the club.
High school.
You got the big bouncer with the fur vest on.
Yeah, they were trying. They were trying hard.
Yeah, and they fake IDs.
Definitely wasn't them. All the IDs were dark skinned. All the IDs were dark skinned. I was just like, this thing, man, come on, this ain't gonna work, bro. This market light skinned as hell.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, y'all just blew up overnight, huh?"
Yeah.
It's like, yo, come on, man. We just trying to get in, man. We trying to have a shot. They finally kind of talk him into it. And then Bounce says, "All right, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all in. If I see y'all at that bar, same way I'm rolling y'all in here, I'm gonna roll y'all fat ass out of here."
Right out, exactly.
And he said $10 a piece. He was like, $10? And you bugging.
That was the end of it right there. Cash. That was it. They were like, man, and they started leaving. I was like, yeah, $10. Yep.
$10.
Pay to get in.
Yeah. $10 in the 80s money,
Right. And that was a lot for a high school kid. Figure $10 is a lot for a high school kid, man.
Shoot, yeah. So yeah, they didn't have it, obviously, and they bounced. Okay. This one thing I thought was funny. This how you know. This how you know that there's gonna be a romance later on in the movie.
Right.
When Russ meets Sheila,
Yeah.
Tender Love starts playing in the background.
This is Russell, that's Karen.
Hey, Karen.
That's Sheila.
Hi.
Hey, I liked your song up there. It was good. Real good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And let's start music again. We get another great song. We get Force MD's Tender Love, which pops up I think 3 times in this movie.
Right.
What else can I say about Tender Love? You can play that song anywhere, and people are gonna sing along with it.
Absolutely. That was a classic love tune back in the day. Absolutely.
Classic. I still listen to it now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you get that song, and you already know. Oh yeah, he gonna fall for Sheila one way or another. Perfect. Michael Schultz, great job. You put a perfect cue in that movie.
Yeah, and like you said, every time that there was a tender moment, Tender Love came on. So it fit perfect.
So now our boys, Krush Groove Records, they want to get the money. They want to get the money. So where did they go to get this money?
They try to go to a big bank to try to get the loan.
Yeah.
When they go in there, you're looking at the I guess the broker there, the bank worker. He's already looking at him judgmental already.
Yeah.
And they basically kind of give him a spiel that that they have a record company, and he's asking about collateral. What kind of collateral do you have? And I think Russell was trying to be a little bit more honest than Rick was.
Yeah.
And Rick was like, "Oh yeah, our stuff. We got state of the art digital stuff. It's $50,000 worth of equipment."
Yeah.
And then it was funny because Russell was like, "Yeah, what he said, yeah."
Lying.
Knowing damn well they lying, And then the banker, asked, "Okay, well, let me see your books if you have them with you." That's when Rick hands him the little notebook with all the tattered pages and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, that's strike 2 right there. He's like, he didn't even want to turn the page. He was like, "What is this, man? It's got ketchup on it,
Ketchup, coffee stains and shit.
And the part I thought was hilarious was he said, "Well, what kind of music? It's this music company you have. What kind of music is it?" And that's when you kind of saw the light go on with Rick, and he was like, "Rock music." He's like, "What kind of music?" Rap music. Like
Rap music.
he knew that was going to kind of be a thing because at the time, rap really wasn't a big thing, as far as like mainstream. Yeah. So his immediate answer was like, "Well, what's rap music?"
Yeah.
And I think they dropped the ball as far as like instead of him kind of explaining it to him, because you're in like a national bank, something that's real big, you get clients in the back, they try to kick a rhyme, and I was just like, nah.
Messing up.
You're not gonna get the loan, bro.
Yeah.
Not gonna get the loan. And sure enough, shut him down. Okay, that's enough. We get the. I understand what you're saying, and we can't approve this loan. And it was only for $5,000, man.
Back then, it was a little more difficult, man. And I can honestly see that a bank would turn them down, even if they had a good pitch, and their pitch wasn't that good.
No, it was. They didn't discuss things before they went in there. That's And I thought it was funny that Rick got up. He's like, "Hey man, let's forget it. This guy's gay." I was like, "Damn, dude."
Tough.
He was standing there like, "What the hell did you just say?"
Tough money. You ain't coming back there to get no loan. I know that.
Nah, they closed the door after that one. It was closed.
So after they leave the bank, man, we get Run DMC. They're over at Sheila's crib, chilling, and while Sheila's rehearsing.
Right.
It's her and her manager there, and it was one other guy there too, right? One of the band members.
One of the band members of Sheila's band. He was playing the keyboard.
Yeah. They're doing their rehearsal and everything, and Run is on the phone, man. He's trying to order some Adidas, and he's trying to order like, I need 11 pair of these, I need 6 pair of these, I need 4 pair of these.
Big money.
He said, "I need them tomorrow." And he's like, nope. The guy's like, no. He's like, man, I can't believe they would, as much business as we bring them, which is a true fact. True fact from back in the day. They put Adidas on the map.
Yeah.
Nationwide, where in their hood it was already a thing, but nationwide, Adidas wasn't like that.
No, they were just another athletic company trying to make stuff for the gym and for working out and whatnot. They weren't big until Run DMC started wearing their stuff, doing the videos and performing with their shoes and their shirt, their tracksuits on. Yep.
And then Adidas kind of caught on and started saying, oh well, this we can use this to our advantage.
Yeah.
And they had to give up a little. They had to kind of work out a deal with Run DMC to be able to get that exposure that they wanted.
Yeah.
Because they wanted, hey, black people got money too.
Yeah. And it showed because, like you said, before them, Adidas really wasn't. It was just like Champions or Nike or other athletic company, but because of Run DMC and the other rappers, man, it just made them blow up.
Yeah, took off, man. Their shoes, their tracksuits, all that. But wasn't nobody wearing them joints like that.
Nah, definitely not back then. Nope, not until they were.
yeah. But yeah, they're in there, and Sheila's rehearsing, and she's like, "Can you guys, keep it down a little bit? We're trying to rehearse. You need to add a little rap to your music." And I'm not even gonna talk about that corny shit that Sheila said when she tried to rap. But anyway, you think about it, man. That was kind of before its time,
right?
Because you didn't have a lot of R&B songs with rappers or rappers with R&B singers.
Exactly.
And that whole idea, man, is like, bro, that joint was like 10 years early.
Yeah, that was an iconic moment right there. If you think about it, like the music genre and everything, that was not happening. You didn't have people that were singing love ballads and pop tunes doing any type of rhyming and rapping at all. Yeah,
you fast forward to you fast forward to Mariah Carey and Old Dirty Bastard. Like that's what he was talking about. Like you need to have some rap, and it's perfect combination in some points.
And that interaction with them, I thought was nice too, because you kind of felt that it was going toward a romantic side of things, but I think and she did kind of establish the feeling that this guy is cool. I like hanging with him. He's funny. This is really nice to be around. It was more of a family, brotherly, sisterly type of love, and not something that was going to be serious. But in Run's mind, it was
right because she stamped it friend zone.
Right, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, hurt my man.
Yeah.
So now we got Russ. Russ wants that money. The bank turned him down. So he's like, "Look, Rick, man, I got an idea." He goes to see JB.
Yep. Bad mistake.
You think he would have learned from JJ, man? From Good Times, from Sweet Daddy Williams, man. Don't get involved with loan sharks. We all grew up with that. We know, like,
always ends bad.
You never get involved with the loan sharks, man. It never turns out good unless you really got a plan to get that money back
fast.
And Russ was just like he was so desperate to get that $5K, and like you said, man, $5K ain't a whole lot, but if you don't have nothing, that's a whole lot.
Yeah. And he was under the vice, man. I mean, it was you could feel the pressure because again, the demand for the records. You saw that they were growing as far as like popularity, man. And he had to get those records in the DJ's hands so that they could get more play and then get more, book more shows and and whatnot. And he just basically his back was against the wall, so he took a gamble. And I
think if I want to be critical, of not of the movie, but just of Russ's decision,
right?
I would say, well, damn, Russ, you already knew dudes that own record labels who would give your guys a contract. You know what I'm saying? Just try to work yourself into it some kind of way. You ain't got to worry about dealing with nobody like JB. Right. Let them print the records. But
I think he had an ego. He had an ego thing where this is me, this is mine, this is my push. and he's
Yeah.
thinking more of himself, And again, when you do that, you make mistakes. So he takes the loan
Man.
from JB.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
that
Takes
scene,
the money.
you see they got crates all the way up to the ceiling of vinyl, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Rick comes back. He's like, man, what's going on, man? You rolling with the rush?
I think he probably put the order in and
Yeah.
paid for them, and then the records all came at one time,
Right.
stacked ceiling, and then he was like, "What the
Yeah.
hell going on, man? Yeah, hey, man, we doing it. We doing it big now."
And we get another classic song, man. Here we go, back to back to back. We get Kurtis Blow on stage doing "If I Ruled the World." And depending on when you were born, this is one of those songs that you just remember from back in the day, man. It's got one of the catchiest hooks
Oh yeah,
that you can imagine. If you don't know the song, you know the hook.
classic. And I like the way
Yeah.
they presented him doing a big. I think it was a bigger show normally than what they were doing. And
Yeah.
he had the stage performers there, and I just thought that it kind of set him, kind of above, just the average rapper grabbing a mic and being on stage. I thought that was really decent. You kind
Yeah,
of
'cause
felt
he
it.
was the only. Yeah, in the movie, he was the only one that had really been established as a rapper that had any kind of success.
Right.
Yeah, and then we get to meet Beaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Beaker, you can kind of look at him as a sneaky snake type of dude, or as somebody who was offering a legit opportunity to Russ, and Russ, kind of shoved it to the side. You can see Beaker, either way, but nevertheless, Beaker did offer a contract to all of Russ's artists.
Right.
He said, "Man, 20,000 to sign, and we'll talk about the rest when they come in." And Russ is like, "Man, when you serious, come holler at me."
Yeah.
He takes
Big
his
ego.
car, his head. Yeah.
Big ego.
But I mean, to his credit though, he's right. If somebody offers you a contract, or somebody's offering you money for something,
Right.
they're always going to offer you the lowest amount first,
Right.
if they got any sense. And if you got any sense, you're gonna say no to that first one.
Press it up. Yeah.
Right. You're gonna start as high as you think you can get it, and then meet somewhere in the middle or whatever.
Right. Right.
So I kind of found it like, well, damn, Rush, you could have made a counter offer.
Yeah.
Because I need 100,000 to sign.
He was
But he just kinda
preoccupied
turned him down.
trying to be the man. He's I don't know what I think his problem was. He was trying to do it all and not really communicate with the people that were in his crew, as far as like on his label, because he's preoccupied with the fact that Run DMC are late for the show.
Yeah.
And again, his ego is in full bloom here. He's exploding almost like, I'm running this and I say yes and no to these deals, and I think that again shows that was his weakness.
Yeah.
When Run showed up to the show, he's talking to him like he's some 5-year-old, man, and I was like,
Right, that's his brother.
Yeah.
You don't talk to your brother like that, man. You ain't his daddy, man. Don't talk to your brother like that, man.
Yeah, that was foul.
Yeah, we're doing that shit.
Yeah, and it's funny, you saw LL kind of in the back moving boxes.
Yeah, for a
around.
second. Yeah.
So you saw he was on like the stage crew, you know what I'm saying, moving boxes and stuff around, waiting for his shot,
Yeah.
But after that scene there, Run DMC, they get on stage, and again, here's his brothers butting heads. You king out there, I'm king on the stage, and I like the fact that Run established that. Everybody, say Run's house. And I just thought that whole scene, it just kind of solidified the issues that they had as brothers.
Yeah. Like which one of us is in charge? Like you're the manager, but I'm the talent.
Right.
Which one of us is more important right now? So when Run goes on stage, he says, "Whose motherfucking house is
Mm-hmm.
it?" You can tell the look on Russ's face, man. He wasn't liking that.
Nah, but again, because I think the fact that he knew what that meant,
Yeah.
like you king out there, I'm king here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I thought that was deep.
And let's not forget that the actual Russell Simmons is the is the show promoter.
Yep.
And he was the one that's saying, "Hey man, where your guys at? Like they're gonna be here. Hey man, I only paid you for 2 acts." And what happened? Run puts Sheila on stage.
Out there first, yeah.
Yeah. He said, "Hey man, look, I'm only paying you for 2 acts. I didn't ask for this third one." And you can tell Russ, man, he looking a little sour in the face, like,
you're like, what are you doing?
Man, yeah, like, what are you doing? You gotta run this by me first. Yeah. But we get another song. This movie is basically a musical.
Yeah.
You get Sheila E. and Holly Rock.
Holly Rock. Yep.
Another one of those songs, man, that you hear it and you're like, damn, I ain't heard that song in years, but you still sing along with the hook.
Yeah. Yep. That was a great song.
Yeah, great song, man. Props to Prince, man, just for his artist and the music he put out back then in the early mid '80s. Almost everything he did was just music perfection.
Yeah,
like you could listen to it.
Yeah, you didn't find too many flops coming out of his camp, man, at all.
No.
Because he was a perfectionist.
So like we said, man, Ron and Russ are arguing about Sheila performing. And,
right.
Yeah, and Ron is basically threatening to like not go on stage and do his set.
Mm-hmm.
And Russ sons him again, man. Like, what are you doing to your brother, man?
Yeah.
Talk to him like he's your brother.
And right in front of her, which made it even worse. Like here, he's trying to impress her and trying to be this man that that's going to take her and show her the world in his mind, and you getting punked by your brother. I mean, that's like fire and gasoline, man.
Yeah. Like not only are you just gonna try to like disrespect me, you're gonna do it in front of the girl I'm trying to get. Like that's
stings. Stings terribly, especially to a young guy. That stings bad.
That hurts your ego right there, man. That hurts your ego.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so now we get he punks him into going on stage, basically.
Yeah.
Run relents, man. He goes on stage because you can hear Daryl DMC out on stage, introducing Run.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen, you can hear him back there introducing Run. So Run goes out on stage, man. And they do It's Like That. Another song.
Yeah. Classic.
Not DJ Run. My name, Jam Master J, is his. He's DMC.
And it fit.
What else can you say? Yeah.
It fit right with the situation. It fit.
Yep. So I mean, what else can you say, man? It's one of those just perfect timing things. You put the song right where it belongs in the movie, but it fits in the movie.
Right.
We get that performance. Another classic song for Run DMC. They rock the crowd, man. Crowd's loving it and everything. And we get a scene with Beaker.
Yeah.
Talking to Run. After the show. Let me back up. Run has like a little discussion with Sheila.
Right.
After that whole situation with him and his brother and everything. And he's like, Sheila, let's go. Sheila's like, look, she basically, this is when she puts him all the way in the friend zone.
Right. You got the stamp there. Friends like a month.
Right. Right. Bow. Run had, he'd been drinking and everything, so he was feeling good. He had that courage in him. I guess he had asked Sheila to go back to her place, and she said, look, you want to go back to my place, so you think something's going to happen.
Right.
She said, but it's not. He said, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? You gave me a kiss earlier, and now you're not with it?
Mm-hmm.
She said, Run, I like you, but
you're
like a brother to me. And that, you can see his heart go like this.
Yeah. He crumbled there.
Yeah.
And that's a woman, man. That is a beautiful woman that's letting you know, hey, look, this is nice, but this is not what you think it is.
Right.
Again, just putting her, upper crust, upper tier, letting him know that, hey, it's, I'm mature than you are, and you're thinking wrong, And he didn't like that. He didn't like that check. So, of course, he does what he does. Little schoolboy. All right, I'm going to go kiss on this girl over here. Come on, man. Yeah. I'm like.
Yeah. I mean, just and yeah, just immature, man. But if you're watching that scene, man, you see Beaker talking to that one female, and he's like looking at Run, and that's the same female that Run goes to when he leaves Sheila.
Exactly. So you
Like
wonder.
it was a setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a setup, and she's like, yeah, go push up on him, You know, he's looking hurt right now. You know, but yeah, then you get the scene with him and Beaker in the limo.
Right.
You know, he's got champagne and whatnot. He said, man, you could be living like this all the time over here at Galaxy Records.
Exactly.
You know, limousine, champagne. He said, man, you know, I was upset, you know, you guys weren't gonna come to the label. I offered Russ a deal and he turned it down flat. And you can see the look in Run's face, man, like, what?
Yeah. Now he's in control of my career too. Nah. Right. Yeah. And it was kind of perfect, like right at that moment, you know, here Russell offer Sheila E a ride home, you know.
Yeah.
Right at the moment of all that stuff going on, which again caused a big problem because now you're trying to take my girl.
Right. Bro, you embarrassed me in front of her.
Right.
You sunning me in front of all my friends, man. And now you gonna take my girl?
Yeah.
Dang, boy, I was surprised they even talked after this.
Yeah.
You know how dudes are, man. Like,
oh yeah.
Like this bro might not talk to you for a year after that, man. But
especially brothers,
anyway,
you know, it makes it even worse because you always in competition with your brother, especially your older brother.
Yeah.
You know, you're always in competition. So to get clowned and then you gonna scoop my girl, like, nah, man.
Right.
And
it's like, yeah, and I can't avoid you because you are manager.
Right.
You know,
it was bad all the way around. The whole mixture was just a bad deal, man. Yeah, man. Run should have heard "Tender Love" playing when Russ saw Sheila, man. He should have knew right then. He should have been like, is that "Tender Love" playing? Like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Yeah. So that was perfect timing for Russell. On Russell's part, and again, there was an attraction there. She automatically, you know, you saw from the first time when they was at the club that I think she kind of had sights on him anyway. You know. Yeah. So, but it didn't make the situation between him and his brother any better, especially with you know with that situation because that kind of pushed him to the side. Like, you know what, I'm gonna make my own decision. Yeah, man. Yeah. I think we're gonna sign with you, and that's probably what went on. He took a couple more shots of the champagne. Yeah, we in. You know. Yeah,
and I actually like how the movie approaches this.
Yeah,
they don't show you Run DMC signing with Beaker or like Kurtis Blow and them signing with Beaker. You know, you find out later.
Right.
And I like that. I like that little mystery that they throw in there.
Yeah, because there was enough pressure there where it could have went either way depending on like how he was feeling.
Right.
But the way that the building of what they had already, that pressure there, you kind of figured it could go one way or another.
Yeah.
And, you know, later on, you know, you find out.
So now we get the Fat Boys, and Prince Marky D's running around. He got some boxer shorts on, but he got the newspapers wrapped around him.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, man, like I don't understand that. Like I thought in the beginning when I first watched it, I thought it might have been because he looked like he was crying. I thought maybe old girl's boyfriend beat him up and took his pants off.
Right. You know? But I think that's what happened though, and that's one of those things you don't see it in the movie.
Yeah.
The scene starts with him running.
Man. And then that, you know, and Buff was telling him, "Hey man, you better leave old girl alone, man. Old boy gonna rough you up some more." And I'm like, he get beat down. He took his pants from him. Like, oh man,
what did he do to this dude? Good gracious. Yeah. So I was like, man, I know as many times I've seen this movie, I was like, hold on, man, am I missing something? Did I miss a scene? Because when this scene starts, it just starts with him with boxer shorts on and newspapers wrapped around him.
Right. It kind of left it open, like what actually happened before this, and it might have been like you were saying, they did a lot of editing, so you figured it might have been edited out. Maybe that whole scene with the boyfriend and him kind of got edited out, you know.
Right. It might not have fit well with the narrative and everything.
Right.
But I mean, if you're gonna leave this part in the movie, then you might as well
Yeah.
put it in.
Might as well give us the whole thing.
Right. But this is where Buff snatches one of the newspapers off him, and the talent contest advertisements in there.
Yeah. At the Disco
And,
Fever.
Yeah, he said, "Oh man, this is our chance." Him and so Buff and Prince, they down.
Yeah.
But Ski like, man, nah.
Your boy Ski always bucking. So from that scene with the newspaper, they go back to the Krush Groove headquarters, and they're, I guess, interviewing new talent. And they got the one girl, Niobe. She's singing, and I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know if you might be able to fill me in. I don't know if Niobe was. I know she was a singer, kind of like more so like Shaka Khan.
Right. I didn't look her up.
Right, I don't know very much about her either. I always thought she kind of came from like the house music genre. You know what I mean? Like
right.
As far as music wise, because again, I recognize her voice and I recognize her look, but I can't place her.
Right.
Can't place her like if she was with Def Jam or not.
Yeah, I couldn't either. She was one of those people that unfortunately kind of fell by the wayside, and
right.
We don't
beautiful
hear
voice.
Yeah,
beautiful voice. Yeah. So during that time period, they kind of close the auditions, and as they're taking Niobe out, his favorite team come in. LL and his boys come in. And Run was like, Run's looking, and DMC's looking like, what's going on, man? And then Jam Master Jay gets up. He's like, hey, man, I said no more auditions. What are you, stupid? Reached into his jacket. I was like, oh, damn. If I remember anything about this film through the years, man, that scene had me dying, and I have always remembered that one scene for some weird reason, man. It's just, to me, it's just hilarious. Because it didn't even, like, you look at L's face, didn't even faze him, man. He's like, man, whatever, man. Bah! Turn the music on, and then he goes doing the radio.
Yeah.
Song,
like he's come through this kind of just pushing people out the way, man, and does another song.
Right.
Another song.
Classic.
My radio. I can't live without my radio. And I remember when that song came out, man. When I was young, man, I was like, bro, it's classic.
Yeah.
It's classic.
His first album was just, I thought it was, all his songs came off really intense, and it was a different sound. It was a different to the normal like ABC 1 2 3 rapper. It was a different sound. I think that's what helped his popularity. The fact that he came across so, he had a bite to him.
Yeah, he had a different cadence and everything, man.
Yeah.
He was. LL was a man when he came out.
Yeah. So that scene did him justice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it showed you who he was. It showed you who he was right from the jump.
Right.
So now we get to my bad. When he leaves, you hear I forgot one of the dudes said, "Damn,
DMC was like, "Hey, he was going to shoot him." Yep. Damn, dude, you was going to shoot him, man. What's up? Yeah, that was a classic thing. Classic.
Yeah. I love that, man. So now, Run comes in, man, and tells the guys that Russ turned down the contract, and they're in disbelief. Like, nah, man, your brother wouldn't do that, man. He wouldn't turn it down, not even talk to us. It's one thing to turn it down, and they got a point. It's one thing to turn it down. It's another thing to turn it down and don't even ask them about it.
Right.
That's
that career, that controllingness that Russell had, controlling problem that he had, thinking that he didn't have to go to everybody else and talk to them. It's their career.
Right.
They should have known.
Right. Even if they agree to what may not be the best deal for them, they're adults. If that's the one they want to agree to, you got to give them the opportunity.
Right. That's good business practice too, man.
Right.
And
again,
right.
Yeah.
Russell was lacking. He was definitely lacking in that.
Yeah. Like you said, that big headedness, man.
Yeah.
So now we get blessed though. We get blessed with yet another song. Next scene.
Oh yeah. We go to the talent show.
the first leg of the talent show, and the first group we see is a young, fresh-faced, new addition, who at this point have been out for I think a couple years already.
Right.
You know, they came out with Candy Girl and everything like that. But you get them on stage performing with the Shiny Suit song.
Yeah, this scene
My
right
Secret.
My Secret. Yeah, this scene right here. I've always been a New Edition fan, man, and I tell you this scene right here really took me back, man. You know, seeing their talent, you know, seeing young Bobby Brown, you know, sitting all the way to the. I think he was on the far left.
Yeah, as you look at it on the left.
Far left, and Ralph Tresvant with all his big headedness and his pride. You know, he's still sitting there leading the pack, man. It was just it took me back, man. Took me back, bro.
Yeah, man. I was rewatching this yesterday, and my wife was sitting next to me, and that joint came on, man. She started bobbing. You gotta love it, man.
Yeah, classic right there, man. That was a classic song. Classic song.
JB's also at the talent show.
Yeah.
The loan shark JB, and he talks to Russ, and he's like, "Hey man, how's our record company going?" He said, "Ours."
Yeah.
And JB wasn't playing, man. He said, "Yeah, it's gonna be mine if you don't give me my money."
Exactly. Yeah. If they had to pick they couldn't pick a better villain. This guy was intimidating, sleazy, he had a really bad side to him, and he just had that look like, bro, you know, there's no jokes over here, you know.
Right.
Our freaking record company, you know, and you look at it, even size comparison, man, the intimidation factor was there, man. And every time Russell looked at the dude, he was, you know, he's freaking like Shaggy and Scooby. You know, and I was just like, he had that little sad face, like, man, you keep bullying me, man.
And I do like that, man. If you watch the movie, when you look at Russ, he's looking at JB. Mm-hmm. The camera's looking down at Russ.
Yeah.
Because you know, legit, JB was about 5-6 inches taller than Blair Underwood.
Definitely.
So he was intimidating, and the camera accentuates that.
Absolutely. And then you got the little things like the suit. He had the Brooks Brothers on, you know, a really nice suit, and you got the girl on him, you know what I'm saying, stroking his back. Man, come on, man. Like you outclassed right there, man. All of that just made him look even smaller, bro.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was great.
Yeah, you're Russ. This is your company, but you're still a small fish.
Yes.
You're not a grown man yet. Like stop trying to hang with the grown man over here. You're gonna get hurt.
Yep.
And then we get the Fat Boys. They haven't made it there to the. Did they go to the first talent show? Because there's 2 sets with the talent show. There's 2 scenes with the talent show. Because I want to say like right after JB threatens.
Yeah, actually,
and the Beastie Boys. My bad. The Beastie Boys play.
Yeah, the Beastie Boys came on next.
Yeah.
Now that part there, I don't know about you, man, but I kind of felt some kind of way because when they came on, they were booed. You know, they were just booing them. You know, you heard a couple people in it cheering, but that whole scene for them was just they was getting smacked negative, and I was like, damn, you know. But again, they had been established, you know.
Right, but you know that's one of those things. If you look back at actual history, they were the first platinum rap group.
Yeah.
They had the first platinum rap album, you know, so Def Jam history, you know, they were on Def Jam, they were the first platinum group, but right before Run DMC.
Right.
So, you know, gotta give them their props, but in the movie they were getting booed. So yeah, we get the Fat Boys, they're arguing about going to the talent show.
Right.
or arguing about getting on stage. So they do actually get on stage and perform. And I forgot which song it was they performed.
It was the Get Down. Get On Down was the song. And I like what Prince Marky D told Ski. He was like, man, look, we got to do this. And if you don't want to go, it's either all of us or none of us. And that really showed kind of like how they were together as brothers, man. Like, we're not doing this without you. And of course, he ended up deciding to go. And when they went on, I mean, the performance was great. You know, the song, they had the crowd up and everything. Everybody was grooving, but you know, it turned out that they didn't win. They didn't win, but they did perform.
Yeah, and they didn't get an automatic shot at the finals of the talent show.
No, that was they had a discussion with Kurtis Blow. And Kurtis was, you know, saw that Buff was crying, and he was like, "Look, man, y'all did really good, man. And you know what I'm saying, don't take this, take this on the chin and keep it moving, man. You know, because I can get you in. You know, if they have we have somebody that folds in the next show, you know, I'll try to put you guys in. You know, man, but just keep it up. You know, you guys are doing great, and I like that. That was a really good moment. You know, between them, you know, and it kind of showed that the heart of the whole film was like right there, as far as those little small moments like that was really nice. Yeah. Again, rap was more of a positive thing. It wasn't like, you know, me versus you, sucker MC. That, you know, it wasn't like that in this film. It was more of everybody's trying to come up at the same time.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like really nice, the way that they put that. You know.
Yeah, and when you go back and watch this, every artist that gets mentioned in a positive light. Right. You know, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and everybody gets mentioned in a positive way. There wasn't any hating in this movie.
No me and you in here, really.
Yeah. So Kurtis gives them a shot, man. He said, "Look, man, y'all come to the finals. Somebody don't show, I make sure y'all get that shot." And Kurtis kind of solidifies himself in this movie as like the rock behind everybody, man. Like he's the steady hand behind everything.
Mentor.
Yeah, the mentor. Yep.
He's a mentor. Yeah, he was really nice. Yep. And we also find out some bad news during the show as well. Bad news that Run ended up signing with Galaxy, and I guess he comes across and tells Russell in, and they start scrapping. They start rolling around right on the floor, man. I was like, ooh, this ain't good.
That was a long time coming, man. Run been holding a little animosity. Yeah, he had to beat his brother ass, or at least try to. You don't keep talking to me like that. You don't keep doing this shit to me, Russ.
Yeah. At that point, the pot had boiled over.
And the next scene, we get the Fat Boys going. They're talking about the show, and you know, Ski, like, he ain't with it.
Nah, still upset.
Yeah.
Still upset that they didn't win as well.
Right, exactly. And
I think
go to
New Edition. I think New Edition won.
New Edition won. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They go to Saboro.
Yeah.
They go to Saboro restaurant, and they got an all-you-can-eat, $2.99, $3.99, whatever it is, and that's when, you know, one of their most famous songs starts to play, and it's like a little mini music video montage in the movie.
All you can eat.
$3.99 for all you can eat. While I'ma stuff my face to a funky beat.
All you can eat. And they just in there, man, eating all the food, all, you know, pizzas and all kinds of lasagna, everything. Dumping it all on the plate, go sit down, go back, get a whole another. Marky D walking around with like a whole ham and
piece of cheese, big ass cheese roll.
And after that scene, you know, they leaving the restaurant. The dude's like, "Hey, you guys got to pay more. You know, you ate too much food." And they just bounce, man. They laughing and whatnot. Yeah, running down the street. They get back to the stoop. They're on the stoop, man, and Prince is like, "Man, see, that's the problem. We scared to be ourselves."
Right.
You say, you like food, don't you? You like food, don't you? That's what we need to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We fat boys. That's what we need to be, fat boys. And in the movie, that's the progression of them from going from the Disco 3 to the Fat Boys.
To the Fat Boys, right?
Yeah, embracing what they are and what they like, and being themselves, just being themselves for real. And now we get a scene of Run DMC in the studio, some more good music,
right?
With some more good music playing, and I forgot to write down what song was playing.
You rock it like this, I think I rock it like that. But then you rock it like this, hope I rock it like that.
I can hear it in my head, but I can't think of the name of it right now.
Yeah,
in the studio.
I didn't get it either, but I did see when they had the I guess the Billboard ad. It said that Run DMC, Kurtis Blow, and Jekyll and Hyde had been signed to Galaxy. So that's made the move away from Russell.
Yeah. And they're in the studio, and you can see Kurtis in there, man. He's looking like, man, I ain't feeling this. And he's producing the records, whatever, but he's like, man, I ain't feeling this. You can tell he feel a little weird by not having Russ around.
Right.
Because that's they're all supposed to be brothers, basically, family, and Russ not there. And we also get Russ get a little flashback montage of all his frustrations, up to this point.
Right. He sees his father talking to him. He sees Kurtis talking to him, and he's kind of getting the gist of where the mistakes are and revisiting, like, why is everything falling apart? Yeah, you start to see.
JB, of course, JB was one of those memories too. JB won his money.
Right.
And,
so at this point, I guess he decides to, concentrate all his efforts on trying to get Sheila E signed.
Yeah.
To the label. I guess that would have been one of his first signings because Run DMC and everybody else didn't have a contract with him. He said, well, I'm not gonna make this mistake with Sheila. So go ahead and get her signed and start concentrate on getting her records out and try to use her to build up money so we can pay JB off.
We get the scene of him. They're recording Sheila in the studio. She's doing Holly Rock again. They get done recording Sheila, and you get the scenes of Russ trying to shop around the records to the clubs, DJs, or whatever, and nobody wants to work with him.
No.
They said, man, we told you not to get involved with JB.
Yeah. And even the guy that told him in the beginning, Sal, was like, look, man, I'm not playing that in here because I told you, don't mess with JB. He's bad news. And he said, you guys always know better. You guys always know more than me. So, nah, I can't help you. Close the door on him.
So now, he kind of stuck, man. Russ not sure what he's going to do because nobody wants to work with him.
Right.
And then we get the finals of the talent show. And, of course, this is big, Donnie Simpson.
What's done is done. Listen, that's it.
Sal, we got big trouble, man. New Edition just called. They aren't gonna be here. They got a contract with a company in LA or something, and they just canceled out.
Well,
yeah, but we get Donnie Simpson, man, from Video Soul. BET back in the day.
Yep.
Say what you want about BET now. I haven't watched BET in 15, 20 years. But anyway, back then BET was everything, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you had cable. If you was the one person in the hood that had cable, man, everybody would want to come over and watch videos, during Video Soul, because that was where you got a chance to see a lot of artists that you wouldn't see on MTV.
Yeah.
These artists that you hear on the radio, we hear them on the radio, but you would never see their music videos unless they were Michael Jackson, somebody huge.
Yeah.
Maybe Rick James, somebody, Prince. But these other artists, you would never see them.
Right.
You turn on BET, man, Video Soul, and you get to see all these people.
Right.
It might have been your only chance to see these folks, man.
Which is very true.
Donnie Simpson. Yeah, Donnie Simpson, man, he's one of those people that growing up in that time, like his face and his eyes are in your head, man, permanently.
Right.
His voice is in your head permanently. Because he was the face of BET, basically.
Yeah.
At the time.
And he was the one that was introducing all the people that like you said, that weren't mainstream, that wasn't really getting a lot of play. He was the one that was introducing them on BET. And I think TV was really selective at that time because, again, I guess they felt that rap was kind of like a gamble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they only took what was really popping at the time, which I thought was kind of like lousy because they locked a lot of people out and they didn't have any choice but to go and get some small time play on BET or video music,
Yep.
video music boxes or whatever, man. Which
Yeah.
just shows the business where the business.
Yeah. So yeah, anybody, if you happen to be watching this video and you weren't around back then, and this doesn't sound familiar to you, just know it was way more difficult to see these artists, man, to see these videos. Whereas you would clamor for the opportunity to see some of these music videos.
Yeah.
Because you might only get 1 or 2 shots a day to see these artists, see these videos. And if they were on Video Soul, or if they got shown on BET, if you want to see them again, you better hope they end up on the countdown later.
Yeah.
Because that was only going to be your other shot to see it.
And I can tell, I'll share this with you too. My junior and senior year in high school, might have been my sophomore year. During the summertime, I would go to Jersey to spend some time with my dad and to work during the summer up there. And again, we had cable. My dad had cable in the house, man, and I would always take, a VCR cassette and tape some of the stuff that they had on like BET. Yeah. And when I bought that tape back, man, and tried to share it around the high school, man, sometimes I wouldn't see that tape for months because people was like, "Oh my God, you got so and so on there. Let me hold that for a minute," and it's gone. Yeah. But you hit the tape back 20 months later, because again, didn't really see these people, And if they heard like, "Oh, you got De La Soul on them," because again, a lot of these guys didn't get any play on MTV at all, man.
Yeah. Let's say, depending on where you live, you may not hear certain music on the radio.
Right.
So, for example, when I lived in Raleigh, I did hear a lot of the old school hip hop, R&B that we know. But I moved to Alaska in 1986. From 86 through 89, there were no like R&B hip hop stations.
Right.
Or black stations. There weren't any. So the music that was on the radio, the blackest thing I heard was like Straight Up Now, Straight Up by Paul Abdul,
Right.
The artists, the black artists, the hip hop R&B songs that I remember from that 3-year span was everything I saw on BET and a little bit on MTV.
Right.
So to get those songs, I had to, take the boombox, man, put a blank tape in it, stick it in front of the TV, turn the TV up.
And record it, yeah.
And record it. I used to have a whole Video Soul program on the tape. Flip that joint over, you know what I'm saying? If it got old, I record over it or whatever. When like I'm Bad came out, when LL Cool J's I'm Bad came out, that was the only way I could hear it. I had to record it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't coming on the radio. So this side note, y'all, for the young folks. These are the things we had to do back in the day, man.
Yeah. To hear your music. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, I know I segued there because we talked about Donnie Simpson. But I had to mention him, man, because he shows up in this movie. Just all of a sudden, he shows up in this movie.
Right.
At the talent show. This is where we find out that New Edition had a previous engagement. They got signed. They with a label. They had to do something in L.A. So they couldn't make it to the talent show. Kurtis lives up. He's a man of his word.
Yep.
Gets the Fat Boys on stage. Fat Boys get on and perform. And I thought I wrote it down, man. I didn't even write down what song. Oh, no, they perform Fat Boys.
They perform Fat Boys, yep.
Yeah.
Boys! Now you make me a little chubby, but don't feel...
Rock the crowd, man. Crowd loving it. Because when they come out there, they talking about, we the Fat Boy. You hear a few people chuckling and whatnot in the crowd. And old girl is out there, the one he been crushing on the whole movie with
her boyfriend. With her boyfriend.
Yeah. But yeah, they perform Fat Boys, man. They rock the crowd, man. And everybody's loving it. Old girl comes up on stage. He basically steals the girl in front of the dude, in front of everybody else.
Yep.
Typical movie stuff, man. He gets the girl in the end.
Hero's path.
Yeah. They end up winning the talent show.
Yeah.
They thought they was gonna win that stereo equipment, man. They over here like Buff arguing, molesting that kid, trying to get the stereo from him.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny as hell.
But yeah, they win a recording contract. So they finally made it. They finally made it, man. They get a recording contract. They got what they deserved and everything. But then we get and forgive me, y'all, if you don't know the history of Force MDs and Full Force.
Full Force, yeah. You get mixed up.
You get them mixed up.
I do.
I used to do it all the time. I'm grown and I still get them mixed up. You get a scene of Full Force beating up Russell Simmons, beating up Russ.
Yeah.
They run into him, man. They're like, no, with JB's money, we need that money. You gonna catch this every day.
And they caught him coming in the club he's trying to peddle the records, trying to peddle Sheila E's records to the DJ in there. And Paul Anthony and B Fine, two of the buffest guys in the group, get him out back. They rough him up.
Yeah.
And I heard he's like, no, we're gonna make sure you here. So they sneak him in the stomach a couple times, man. He just left in the fetal position, and I'm like, damn, that right there makes it serious. At that point, you knew, like, man, he on the run now.
Yeah. JB ain't got time for your shit, man. What you doing?
Where the money? Where the money at?
we get Kurtis talking to Run DMC, and Kurtis, man, he's trying to talk sense into the fellas. Like, look, man, we need to come back together.
Yeah.
It ain't right. It ain't right. You working. We doing this without your brother.
Right.
His Kurtis being a mentor, playing a mentor role. That he's been doing so well throughout the movie. He's been the only steady hand in the whole movie,
Right. The only word of reason. Yep.
And he's trying to talk sense into him, man. Trying to talk sense to him by working together.
And then I guess after Kurtis, talks to him, I guess DMC and Jam Master Jay kind of agree, like, hey man, he started all this, got all this together,
Yeah.
And of course Run's like, man, whatever, man, I got this money, man, I'm not worried about nothing. I ain't hearing what you guys say. So they, of course, they leave, and kind of leave Run with his thoughts, and he know, man. And that's the thing. I like that, the fact that you can look on his face and he know he's messing up.
Yeah, he was counting the money. He's counting the money, and he threw it against the wall.
Right.
Yeah, you tell he was frustrated because he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, he knew he was messing up, man.
After he get beat up a little bit, he need a place to hide.
Yeah.
So what better place than to hide, than the legs of Sheila E. Cause he knocks on the door like 3 a.m, and he said, "Look, I need a place to lay low for a minute." And then you already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Tender Love playing in the background.
Yep.
Tender Love is playing, so you know what's going on, man. He finally smashed Sheila.
And see, this is what I don't get, man. Like, that whole scene was like really like PG, man. And for them to have like a R rating for the film, didn't really have too much. It had a little bit of violence, had some foul words here and there, man. And then you got a PG sex scene, and it's just like the R rating, but that just goes to show you the stipulations for the ratings were different during the 80s than they are now. Now they ain't got like, there's no stipulation.
Yeah, okay.
Put on there whatever.
Yeah.
But back
you gotta imagine Sheila probably wasn't willing to do nothing like that anyway.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe Apollonia, maybe
maybe
Vanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Sheila probably like, nah, you ain't seeing my cheeks on here, nah.
Yep.
But yeah, he gets some tender love.
Yeah.
And they actually play most of that song during that scene. Well, a good portion of that song during that scene. It's the next morning. Run's feeling like, man, I need to go talk to my brother. I need to go talk to Sheila.
Sheila.
So you fully expect that he knock on the door and Russ answer the door or something like that, like just rubbing salt in the wound.
Right.
But that's not what happened. Sheila answered the door, and she was like, Russ, is that you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah.
There ain't no Russ.
So yeah, he go in there, and Sheila kind of talks some sense into him. He kind of realized, what he did. He see the bed, and he in his mind like, oh, this dude just left. He just smashed and left. He said, what am I doing? He get ready to walk out. She's like, no, hold up. Let me talk some sense into you. You know, you need to talk to your brother. You know what I'm saying? Me and you are cool. You know, I like you, but it ain't like that with us. Mm-hmm. And this is where Run finally, you know, it finally clicked, man. Like, let me put all this stupid shit to the side. Yeah, he embarrassed me. He stole my girl, but she was never my girl to begin with.
And I like the fact that she checked him during that scene too, because he came out his mouth wrong, and she slapped the shit.
She slapped the shit out of her.
It's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you need that. You need that wake up call. Who you think you're talking to?
Yeah, that wasn't no movie slap. That wasn't no movie slap either.
Nah, that was one of them joints that wake you up slap. Oh damn,
yeah, because she told him where Russ was. He was at Rick's place.
Rick's place, yep. Rick Rubin.
Yep. Run goes over to Rick's place. Well, the Jerry Curl assassins is on him again.
Whoo, working him over.
Yeah, then they're whooping his ass, and everybody in the hallway out there looking like, ain't nobody want to help.
No, hell no.
Run.
Diesel as hell, man.
Run goes up in Rick's place, man, and he catches it too.
I'm like, man, what you trying to do? Double accent. Blah! Get yeah. Both of them getting worked over.
Yeah. And he said, this is going to happen every day.
Yep. Paul Anthony was like,
JB's
hey, man,
money.
till we get this money, we're going to be in here every day looking at you. So,
Yeah, so we get, you know, the scene where the two brothers finally come back together and they got a little sense, man. And both, they apologize to each other.
Yes.
You know, Run apologizes, but then Russ is like, man, nah, I need to apologize. Like, we were both wrong. You know, they got, you know, nose bleeding and everything. And they finally get this shit together.
Yeah.
And this is where, you know, Sheila had told Run that Russ was in debt to JB for some cash. You know, and we've been seeing Run counting all this cash. He got plenty of bread.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but Russ being hard-headed, because I think we didn't even talk about the scene where Russ was talking to Kurtis Blow, and Kurtis had signed a Galaxy, but Kurtis was like, man, you know, I don't really feel right about it. I came to talk to you.
Yeah, that was when they were on the rooftop. I think Russell went up there to work off some steam, working out on the rooftop.
Yeah.
And Kurtis went to him.
Yeah, he said, man, they offered me $500,000, man. You know, but I thought we was brothers. You know, we supposed to be better than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fast forward, man, and Russ in the hallway after they got beat up, man. Russ is asking Run like, "Hey, man, I need some money." You know, he's like, "How much?" Man, ain't that much. And I'm like, "How much?" He said, $5,000. Like, "Hey, man, all right."
Yeah, he's like, "I got it. Yeah,
I got it, man. I got you. You're my brother. You know, you're my brother. I got you."
Yeah.
And this is where, you know, we get Russ. He goes to pay off JB, and we get the happy ending. You know, we get the happy. You get the happy musical ending.
Classic musical ending, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're in the club, man, and the bouncers. You know, you got a suit on this time. Fat boys are like honored guests. They come in. They all got a girl on their side.
Yeah.
Prince.
No need to show ID.
Right. Just walk right in. You got everybody there. You got Kurtis, Run DMC, Sheila, LL, Fat Boys, and they're all celebrating.
Right.
Because Run had talked to Beaker or whoever, talked to Galaxy Records, and got Russ on as their manager.
Yeah.
So now they're all working together.
Exactly.
Now everybody's happy. Now everybody's getting a piece of the pie. And they had a little celebration in the club, man. And then they one at a time, you know, they start introducing the artists, and Kurtis Blow's talking, and they go straight into the theme song.
Yeah, and I like that too. That part there was decent too, because it was Sal that suggested, you know, why don't we do it like we used to do? You know, lights, camera, action. It's you know, and it kind of like was one of those moments for me, like remember where you come from. You know, started here, so it was beautiful. The way it ended was beautiful, man.
Yeah, this movie's just so memorable, man. It's one of those movies you can kind of watch over and over and over again.
Right.
And you may not pick up something new every time, but it's just enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on the background, man. It's just one of those enjoyable movies to watch. And I feel like it's going to get lost. With our generation, it's going to get lost eventually. You know, we gotta go at some point. And younger kids aren't going to know. Younger adults aren't even going to know anything about these artists, these movies. So, like you said, man, we got to make sure we don't let them just fall by the wayside. There's too many great movies like this, man. We still got Breaking.
Yeah.
You know,
Beat Street,
rapping, Beat Street, Wild Style. You know.
Yeah.
And there's too many of them, man. We can't let it go.
Yeah. I was talking to my son. You know, he's he's in his 20s, and the only film that he said that that was kind of like this was Straight Outta Compton. And again, with the new generation, that's all they're really going to know. And I'm not saying that Straight Outta Compton was a bad film or anything like that, but that's all they're gonna talk about. Notorious. They're gonna talk about All Eyes on Me. They're gonna talk about these films, that kind of like the stories kind of came out. But this film right here was what started it all. This was such a big piece of history for hip hop and for us, man. And it kind of like bothers me the fact that you got people, you got a source of information you can look up, look up videos and stuff like that. Nobody's talking about Krush Groove, and I just think that to me that's disappointing, because if you're following the films, you're following the music, you got to know where it originated from, where it started.
Right. This wasn't like the first hip hop movie.
No.
But it was the first one that just had a full cast of like active stars at the time.
Right, that had records out. Yep.
Right. Like Breaking came out before this, but and I want to say Rapping did too. But this is the first one that just had like these active artists in the movie that we were clamoring to see.
Right.
And it has that special place. Breaking is special for a different reason. Breaking is special because it had some music, remember. But it was Breaking. It was, after you watch Breaking, man, you go outside, snatch a cardboard box out of a dumpster and throw it on the ground, and you know what I'm saying? You spinning on
pop and lock.
doing backspins in the projects, man, on a cardboard box.
Yep.
So these movies are special for different reasons, but they're special nonetheless.
Like you said, that again, we don't want these films to be filed away, and in 20 years from now, we're old and gray, still trying to explain to people, you get that deer in the headlight look, like, what are you talking about? What film is that? Because it's happening now.
Yeah.
People are not remembering these films, and I just think, again, like you said, the appreciation factor needs to go up. People need to take it upon themselves to go check this film out. If you've never seen it before, or if you haven't seen it in a long time, go look at it. If you get a chance to do it, buy it if you can. This stuff needs to be kept in circulation.
So, hey, look, once again, guys, if you watch this video, really appreciate everyone that watched our previous videos, the Truck Turner and Predator.
Yes.
So thank you for that. Thank you for any comments, and we're going to keep them coming. So please stay tuned. We're going to see you next time.
All right. Take care, everybody.